Hey guys, you know the number one activity that's keeping us alive throughout the day is our ability to conduct real-time risk assessments. So take this left-hand turn right here. Just pay attention to what's going on. Make the left-hand turn. I survived. That left-hand turn was an example of a real-time risk assessment. You do it so often that you actually are doing it subconsciously. But what's happening behind the scenes in your brain is you're evaluating two basic components which really equate to risk. So you're asking yourself, what's the probability that I'm going to get into an accident right now if I try this left-hand turn, versus what's the impact if I get into this accident? So the risk being the accident itself, right? That's the thing you're trying to measure in terms of risk. And probability in that particular case, the probability was extremely low because there was no oncoming traffic. So super low probability that I was going to get into an accident on the left turn. What would be the impact of getting into an accident on a left-hand turn? Well, the impact would be probably like medium to high. It's a low speed limit area, but I'm in a car, so I obviously don't want to get hit by another car. Certainly would have damage to the car and possibly an injury. So impact would be like, let's say medium to high in that case. So in this case, without getting into the super duper details, because there's no need to get nerdy about risk assessments for your day-to-day life, it's really a question of how are you making risk-based decisions? And are you considering the probability and the impact when you come up with ways to decrease risk? So, in the left-hand turn scenario, I deemed that it was such a low probability of an accident happening that it felt safe to go ahead and make the left-hand turn. So in a day-to-day scenario, when you think about, okay, I don't want to get robbed, well, how do I come up with the risk formula for that? Well, in that case, you may not even know exactly how probable it is to get robbed, but where you can focus a lot of your energy on these things is really around how to decrease probability and decrease impact. So for the robbery scenario, if you start thinking in terms of probability and impact, okay, decreasing probability might be something like you just don't go out after a certain hour in certain streets because you've heard that robberies occur there. Another thing could be you walk with confidence. Another thing could be you don't look down at your phone while you're walking. Another thing could be you don't have headphones in when you're walking. All of those are decreasing your probability of getting robbed. If you flip to impact, things like not carrying too much money on you would reduce the impact. Not carrying two phones instead of one, like maybe you have a work phone and a personal phone, leaving one at home. Not wearing a Rolex while you're walking. That's going to decrease the impact, because if you get robbed, you don't want to lose your Rolex, right? Those are impact reduction strategies. And so if you start thinking about how you're reducing either probability or impact of certain scenarios, you're going to start to slowly chip away and lower the risk around your activity. So suddenly your walk at night may have gone from a medium risk to a low risk because you mitigated a whole bunch of those little pieces of either probability or impact. So now, even though you're doing this subconsciously throughout the day, start making it a more conscious effort around areas that you feel less comfortable with, and start really challenging yourself and asking yourself, how am I decreasing probability and or impact around this particular behavior? Take care. Stay safe.